Gray is here on the Blaze Radio Network.
Great to have you with us. Thanks for being here. Just to give you a heads up on where my head's at and, a little insight into what I'm going through today. So you know, going forward. I woke up at 2:30 this morning with Air Supply, Every Woman in the World going through my head. Over and over and over. And it continues to this moment. It is hell on earth. Girl, you're every woman in the world to me. You're my fantasy. You're my reality. Girl, you're every woman in the world to me. So maybe by saying it, it'll stop. But
you brought the rest of us into it now.
Yes, then you're welcome.
Now it's our problem.
And you're welcome. Let's see. Interesting day on Capitol Hill yesterday. Congressman Tim Burchett tweeted this out. The House Oversight Committee will hold a hearing on UAPs on Wednesday, 7/26. So a week from tomorrow.
Oh, wow.
There will be... we're going to find out. We're done with the cover-ups, he says.
Okay, all right, let's go.
Sure we are. Okay. Yeah, we're going to find out exactly what's going on now.
Well, that's what he said.
Yeah, that's what they said. What was it, a year ago, 2 years ago? When was that? When they released the information and it was all redacted. There was nothing to see, nothing to understand here. Move along. Everybody just move along. So anyway, a short time later, John Kirby was asked for his take from a Pentagon perspective.
Oh.
This used to get laughed at for quite some time, for years and
What
decades.
gets laughed at?
The idea of Congress taking this up. I mean, Gerald Ford talked about this as a congressman back in 1966, and here we are, what is that, 60 years later, give or take. Is this a legitimate issue? Does the administration believe that getting to the bottom of these sightings in the air, is it a real concern? Is it a real legitimate issue as you see it?
Yeah. I mean, we wouldn't have stood up an organization at the Pentagon to analyze and try to collect and coordinate the way these sightings are reported if we didn't take it seriously. Of course we do. I mean, some of these phenomena we know have already had an impact on our training ranges. For when pilots are out trying to do training in the air and they see these things, they're not sure what they are, and it can have an impact on their ability to perfect their skills. So it already had an impact here, and we just want to better understand it. Now, we're not saying what they are or what they're not. We're saying that there's something our pilots are seeing. We're saying it has had an effect on some of our training operations, and so we want to get to the bottom of it. We want to understand it better. So, yes.
That's interesting.
Uh-huh.
I mean, that's interesting that John Kirby would be that matter of fact about it. And that almost seems like big news. And then you stop and you realize, and remember, I totally believe that there's UFOs and aliens and stuff, right? Mm-hmm. But then you hear John Kirby talking about it and you're like, oh, then it's probably all been a lie this whole time.
Yeah.
It's like he knows something we don't know. Yeah.
Of course they know something we don't know.
I don't trust John Kirby or anything from
the
White House.
All kinds of things we don't know. And they just continue to lie to us every day. Later in the day, Speaker McCarthy was asked about that congressional hearing that's next week.
I think if we had found a UFO, I think the Department of Defense would tell us because they'd probably want to request more money.
Would they?
I'd love to see whatever facts and information we have, and it's good. I'm very supportive of letting the American public see whatever we have.
Are you?
Where we go.
Yeah, okay. Sure you are. Sure you are. It's sad that we're this skeptical now about our government.
Oh, yeah.
But this is where we are, right? Do you believe anything they say?
No.
Almost never. Especially this administration, because they continually lie. They lie about things they don't need to lie about. But they're such liars, that's what they do. They're lying liars who lie. And so they lie to us. He was also asked about recent anti-Israel remarks by Democrats, of course, at the Netroots conference, which included Congressman Jayapal calling Israel a racist nation. Here's what the speaker had to say about that.
These are just multiple Democrats on multiple times consistently saying anti-Semitic remarks, and it has got to stop. These are all individuals in the Democratic conference. Do they think Israel is an evil state? Well, if they believe differently, they should take action against their own for the comments coming from their leadership within their own Democratic Party, and that's wrong.
Yeah. But they're not going to. So, will anything come of it? No, of course not. Absolutely not. But again, that's the kind of confidence that they've inspired in us lately. And so thank you for that.
Yeah.
Really wonderful.
There's breaking news this morning, according to the UN command, that a U.S. national has crossed the military demarcation line into North Korea. I don't know the identity of this person yet. A defector, yeah. So I'm just wondering, maybe it's one of these members of Congress, like Ilhan Omar?
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe. Can we hope for the best? Maybe Joe Biden. Oh, wouldn't that be awesome? Oh, please go.
Keep your fingers crossed.
Please go.
That would be great. That's interesting.
Yeah.
Why would you defect to North Korea? Wow, is that bizarre? You got to be nuts. Stark raving mad. Last week we played this video of the young woman in Germany who used epoxy to glue her hands.
Oh, yeah, the two women. See the two women there? Now they get to hang out together forever.
Oh, yeah, right. They were stuck in cement together.
It's fun.
That's beautiful.
You're dumb. So this was in Berlin, I think, yeah.
God, is that stupid or what?
They still have a smile on their face. Now, I don't know if they had a smile on their face later when they
found out they might have to have their fingers amputated.
I wonder if we have an update on that epoxy amputation possibility story.
Should look, because that's interesting. By now, they probably have done something. I mean, I guess they probably broke up the cement on their hands, right? Hopefully, they've separated them by now.
Yeah, I don't see an update on this, so hope things are going well for them.
Also in Germany, though, this guy in a truck was a little pissed off when he drove up to an intersection, and there's these buffoons in the middle of the road again. And he's tired of it, man.
Oh, boy.
Nope.
Oh, he's dressed like a German, too. Got that white T-shirt tucked in.
Great.
Got them high pants. Get out my face.
He tells him he's going to
Now, the guy comes back. Now, watch this.
You just get right back in the way.
I love it. I love what the truck driver does.
Me, too. He drives forward. Move!
One last chance, bro.
Move, stupid! All right, I'm gonna get. Yeah, I don't want to kill anybody. I don't want to hurt you badly. I just want to continue with my day. Get out of the way.
Well, it just kept going, man.
And so the second guy, he finally has had enough. He stays out of the way. The other guy gets right back in the way. So he drives around him. Good for you.
Lucky.
And he's on with his day. And then, of course, everybody starts screaming when the guy drives through them or pushes them a little bit. What do you think is going to happen? Get out of the road. Get out of the road. I don't have any sympathy at all for him.
Really?
I don't. Not an ounce.
Oh,
if they get run over, if they lose a limb, that's your fault, stupid. That's thinning of the herd.
Okay, so hang on.
Yeah.
What do you think is the better reaction for you as someone, if you were in that truck? Should you just run over them? Or, option B, just put it in park and crank up air supply until they move? Yeah, see?
Well, I'd probably, on the latter, I'd be in trouble with the Geneva Convention.
That's right.
Yeah, so
there's that.
Cruel and unusual. The U.S. Constitution also forbids it. So I'd have to run him over.
You had to run. Yeah, look, it's a mercy killing, bro. So it's nice that Germans and throughout Europe, they're protesting things like the climate when they just arrested. Need to focus on some other issues like the 9 ISIS-connected folks, the immigrants that they just arrested. They were going to carry out a terrorist attack there in Germany. But no, you keep parking your ass in the middle of the road because you don't like oil. Got it.
So stupid. Again, take your demonstration to the sidewalk, and it's fine. Nobody cares what you're doing. Go ahead and scream all you want, hold all the signs you want, babble your nonsense. I don't care. Stay out of the road. Just stay out of the road. It's just asinine. It's stupid. It's dangerous. You're screwing with the rest of us for no reason. And it's not getting anybody on your side. In fact, quite the opposite. It's turning some people off who would like to be on your side, but they can't because you're such a moron. We also have a video featuring men who glued their hands to a runway in
thought
Germany.
they would have learned from the chicks last week, no?
You would think so, but no.
Verdammt nochmal! Scheiße! Ich bin jetzt mal an seinem Finger und das macht er mit Absicht, um aufmerksam zu sein. Überhaupt keine Scheiße! Scheiße! Das kann schon passieren, ihr blutet zum Beispiel auch. Also da ist halt spannend.
That's feel good video of the day.
It
of the
is.
week, maybe.
Hey, what's the matter with you? What are you? How dumb can you be?
Listen to this guy.
Scheiße!
Verdammt nochmal! Scheiße!
Maybe you'll think twice next time.
Das macht er mit Absicht, um aufmerksam zu Simuliere sein. überhaupt
Is that possible?
Those poor firefighters, man.
Das kann schon passieren, ihr blutet zum Beispiel auch. Also da ist halt spannend.
Dumbasses.
They didn't learn. They did not learn last week's lesson. So they might have to have their fingers amputated. Because for their trouble. So congratulations on that, stupids. Wow. Congratulations.
I mean,
it's great.
And we've talked about this before. I don't understand a hunger strike, right? It's like, that sucks for you, man.
Right.
Right?
You're not doing anything to me.
It's the same thing with gluing your hands to the road.
Right.
Sucks for you.
That's a little bit of an inconvenience to me because, I may have to run you over. So that's a problem. But you're going to lose a finger or a hand. What are you, stupid? Is that worth it, really? They must think it is.
If there is one person out there, I got to hear from the one person that saw that video, or even the chicks with the hands and epoxy there, they were like, okay, yeah, you know what? It's
I
time
got to do that.
Time to
Yeah.
hang up our combustible engines now.
And if not, I'm going to go out and do just what they did because wow, are they making a difference? Isn't that great?
I'm going to live by candlelight
I'd like
because
to hear
this
it.
guy is stuck to a road in some town I'll never visit. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, you know what? They're right. We're all evil. We shouldn't be using a combustion engine. It just should not happen. So, wow, thank you for showing me the light by gluing yourself to the roadway. Never thought of it before. Huh. Right. There's not one person on the planet who came to that conclusion for that reason. Nobody. And then there's this damage to private airplanes. This is great. Bunch of graffiti all over the planes. That's beautiful.
I mean, why?
Those things are a tad pricey.
Just don't understand this kind of mental illness that makes you deface other people's property in the name of fill in the blank.
Yeah. That's really bad. Did they catch these guys and put them in jail, I hope?
I'm pretty sure
were
they
they
did.
arrested?
Oh, wait, is he going to glue him? Oh, please, glue yourself to the plane, and then the pilot needs to just take off. Oh, that's what I want to see.
Yeah. That's a good question. How'd they get in the airport? How'd they get out on the tarmac? What? I don't know where that is, though. It doesn't look like there's a lot of planes around there.
Where is this?
Some
Somewhere in
private
Europe.
place.
Yeah. I mean, Europe is just, it's an onslaught with the climate protest. I mean, we saw it at Wimbledon even.
Yeah.
They're everywhere. They go to these cricket matches and stuff.
God, look at that.
Gross.
And that's the beauty of that. That's only a $20 million, $30 million machine. So, yeah, don't worry about it. Don't worry
How
about
much
it.
it cost to repaint those bad boys?
A lot. A lot. And then they sprayed it all over the windshield so the pilots can't see out. You got to do something about it. That's really bad.
I really hope those guys have glued or do glue themselves to a plane. Mm-hmm. Look, it's a great day for flying. I can't
take
not
off.
fly today.
Right.
So
So you
anyway.
hang on. Good thing you're glued to it. That way you won't fly off.
Hey, you got your seatbelt? You know what? You don't need to worry about that. You got your hand epoxied to the side of the plane.
Too bad you're not dressed a little warmer because up where we're going, it's going to be a bit chilly.
Oh yeah, we're getting high today. Yeah, and we're doing loops.
I understand it's only about 40 below zero, though. It's not 100 below zero, so it's going to be fine.
Think of the stories you'll have
Sure,
to
you'll be
tell
fine.
when we get back on the ground. It's going to be awesome.
And, of course, then this happened to a $300 million yacht belonging to Walmart heiress Nancy Walton Laurie.
Out of control, man. This is in Spain. Just out of control.
Wow.
I don't know.
$300 million yacht. That'd be nice to have, wouldn't it? That'd be nice.
You know what? They may be looking to get rid of that one now that it's slightly used there.
Oh, yeah, you get a good deal on
with
it.
the paint.
I'll knock $50 million off that for you. About $250 million. You take it as is.
As is.
There's a hole in the sky where the tree once was. Somebody's making money.
So, these idiots, and what have you done? Well, we brought attention. You talked about it, didn't you?
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
guilty.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Brought attention to the problem. Now it's going to get fixed.
So, by the way, if you get that yacht knocked down to $250 million,
You're welcome.
you
'cause-
could buy 4 of those if you win the Powerball lottery that nobody won last night, and it's now up to $1 billion.
Oh, wow. That's the
saying.
first I've heard that it's so high. Really? $1 billion.
So,
Wouldn't that be nice? Gosh.
4 spray-painted yachts could be yours.
You could buy several spray-painted yachts for that price.
That's what I'm saying.
For that amount of money. Speaking of climate change activists, John Kerry was just in Congress where he was asked about how he travels.
Mr. Secretary, in exchange with Mr. Mills, you just testified under oath that you
room.
never owned a private jet.
Never owned a private jet.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to enter into the record article here from February 15th of 2023. The John Kerry family private jet was sold shortly after accusations of climate hypocrisy. Mr. Secretary, do you stand by that testimony that you've never owned or
I personally,
your family? By your family?
Personally, yes. My wife owned a plane. And so the
You flew on that
that's
plane?
My wife owned a plane. I've got nothing to
not
do with
in
my
a number
wife.
of years, but I have flown on it.
And
Sure.
this article is not then inaccurate, that your family owned a plane, you flew on a plane.
My
Mr.
wife owned a plane.
Here's the issue.
Yeah.
This isn't some kind of partisan gotcha. When we are asking Americans to make serious sacrifices as we transition for the common good, and your family and or yourself are flying around on private jets, that smacks of hypocrisy. It actually hurts your cause, Mr. Secretary, but I'll move on. I just want to know from a record standpoint.
Afford me the right, at least, to set the record straight here.
All right.
I do not fly on a private jet. I do not fly. I fly commercially.
Have you
on
flown
all
on a
of my
private jet since you've
responsibilities.
taken this position?
Just let me just finish. I have flown 5 times in the last 2.5 years on Millair, which you also fly on,
Sure.
or some of you who travel fly on, 5 times. Otherwise, all of my trips are commercial
Have you
airlines.
flown on a private jet in a personal or official capacity since you've taken this position?
Possibly once. I don't. I think. I just don't. I'm trying to think. Of
I think you need to take the broader point of how this appears to the American people
But no,
as we're
it
asking them
shouldn't
to take
appear
that.
that. Let me tell you why. We're not asking Americans. We're not asking Americans not to fly.
You know,
You're trying to create an unequal thing. We're not
no, we're
saying
asking
don't
you
fly.
to lead by example, Mr. Secretary. That's what we're at. You,
Which is why
your
I
family,
fly
and others to lead
commercially,
by example.
which is why I
Mr.
fly
In that vein, does your office or the State Department keep a record of your official travel and scheduled meetings?
Of course.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Does that include the individuals you're scheduled to meet with? Can you provide those records to Congress? Will you provide those records to Congress?
Of who I've met with?
Your official travel, taxpayer funded, while in this position.
Sure, happy to do so.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Of course, so happy
commitment.
to do so.
That'll totally happen. Yeah, we'll totally get those.
Yeah, let me get right on that. I think I keep those records with my service medals from the war.
Oh.
So let me go look for those, and I'll get right on it. All right, let me take a minute and tell you about Eden Pure Thunderstorm. Do you have odors in your home that you just can't get rid of?
It's called teenagers.
Yeah. Or Jeffy has come visit, and you don't want none of that. You really don't. The Thunderstorm gets rid of strong odors from cooking, cigarette smoke, litter boxes, trash cans, mildew smell from basements. I mean, it's a fantastic unit. The thunderstorm starts working in seconds to clear a room of any odor, and there's no costly filters to replace ever. And with over 350,000 thunderstorms already sold with thousands of 5-star reviews online, you know it's going to work. And again, it works fast. During this week, got a great deal for you on your own thunderstorm. Right now, you can save $200 on 3 thunderstorms. That's 3 units for under $200. Just go to EdenPureDeals.com, enter the promo code PAT. Eden Pure Deals, EDEN Pure Deals.com, discount code PAT, and you get free shipping.
This is Pat Gray Unleashed.
By the way, don't forget that we're all over the place, social media-wise. YouTube.com/Pat Gray. It's Pat Unleashed on Twitter, Instagram, and Threads. Conspiracies at the Blaze is where you can email us if you'd like if there's a conspiracy that you've been thinking about or wanting to hear more about, debunked, whatever. We'd love to hear from
a week from Friday
you on that.
We've got the Malaysian Airlines flight that vanished.
That should be fun.
Ooh.
All right. And don't forget to leave a podcast review on iTunes. We definitely want you to help us with that because more people have access to the podcast. When you do that, it comes to the top. People will be able to find it. Of course, there's blazetv.com/Pat as well. And I think you can still get $30 off when you use the promo code PAT30.
Through this Friday. Yep.
Through this Friday. Mm-hmm. Okay. This was a brilliant tweet.
Oh, good.
Keith just referenced from Ilhan Omar yesterday. The Earth just broke the record for the hottest day in 120,000 years.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
In fact, we broke in on 3 separate occasions.
Broke in.
National climate emergency now.
So that's Congresswoman from Minnesota, Ilhan Omar. And then, by the way, the community notes added that, the source for this claim appears to be the University of Maine Climate Reanalyzer, which has added a recent notice making it clear that it should not be taken as official observation records. Man, you suck.
No, I'm pretty sure that that we've got records that the Maine Climate Reanalyzer has records from about and they're really clear from 119,000 years ago or so. It's that last 1,000 years that are kind of difficult.
I see.
To track down.
Okay.
They're not really good with that, but we know that 119,000 years ago there was nothing like this.
And let me show something here because we are suffering here in the South and Southwest. My gosh, Phoenix, Arizona is just insane right now.
It's going to be 108 today in Dallas.
Yeah, it'll be
108.
Yeah, they've been between 115 and 120 in Phoenix here.
I mean, that's Phoenix. They're always like that.
It's a dry heat, though, right?
Right.
And it got really nasty out in Death Valley. Anyway, and it's going to be that way for a while. But, and it's happening in other parts of the world, too. I mean, look at Southern Europe. I mean, they are boiling hot, too. Mm-hmm. Oh, but wait, what's going on in Northern Europe? Oh, that's right. It's below average in Northern Europe. Imagine that. Weather happens. Patterns take place. Some places get hotter than average. Some places get colder than average.
Right, but you don't have like a place where there will be floods and then a different place where there's a drought. You don't have that, right?
Right.
Only now is that unprecedented situation happening.
Hold on.
And then, of course, there was a flood in Vermont in the last couple of weeks. It was unprecedented. Well, except for back in 1927 or 37 when it was far worse than what they're experiencing now.
Oh, wow, that's interesting. I wanted to show you this. You just talked about floods and droughts and stuff.
Yep.
So I wish this thing showed you where they were above average, but it shows you that the drought, Nebraska, Kansas, Missouri, really bad right now. Mm-hmm. Most of the country not. I mean, there's a little bit of a drought upper Midwest, but most of the country, Rocky Mountain states, Southeast, Northeast, obviously we just mentioned, is either at or above normal rainfall levels. So anyhow, in fact, I think Alabama. Maybe I dreamed it. Did I dream? Is Alabama about to get really? I could have been a dream. I don't know about
really
to get
what?
flooded.
Flooded?
Yeah.
Oh.
I slept for like just about half an hour or so, and it may have been a dream. Alabama, I don't know if your forecast or if I imagine that. I really don't.
Nobody knows Alabama because they can't get it right. They can't get this afternoon's weather right. So they certainly can't predict the future and what it's going to be like in months. The 10-day forecast here has been wrong time after time after time after time lately. It's amazing how little they know about what's about to happen.
Okay.
Weather-wise.
Congratulations to Alabama. No rain for you until Friday, apparently. I guess I dreamed.
That was a close one.
Massive flooding in Alabama. It's the drug. Sorry, y'all.
All right. Maybe we should revisit a video from several years ago. Weather Channel founder John Coleman, when he put Brian Stelter and CNN in its place. This is good stuff.
Clear, Mr. Kennedy's not a scientist. I am. He's the CEO of the Weather Channel now. I was the founder of the Weather Channel, not the co-founder.
And I'm glad you did, because I am addicted to the Weather Channel. I watch a lot of cable news.
Now, hold on just a minute. I'm not done. And CNN has taken a very strong position on global warming that it is a consensus. Well, there is no consensus in science. Science isn't a vote. Science is about facts.
Right.
And if you get down to the hard, cold facts, there's no question about it. Climate change is not happening. There is no significant man-made global warming now. There hasn't been any in the past, and there's no reason to expect any in the future. There's a whole lot of baloney. And yes, it has become a big political point of the Democratic Party and part of their platform. And I regret it's become political instead of scientific. But the science is on my side.
I don't think we're going to come to a conclusion about the topic right here. What I do wonder,
I know
though, is
we're
when
not,
you
because
see
you wouldn't allow it to happen on CNN. But I'm happy that I got on the air and got a chance to talk to your viewers. Hello, everybody. There is no global warming.
What I do wonder is when you see the government, when you see NASA, when you see other institutions say that 97% of climate scientists agree, do you think they're making it up? What I don't understand is how you square that.
That's a manipulated figure, and let me explain it to you.
Okay.
The government puts out about $2.5 billion directly for climate research every year. It only gives that money to scientists who will produce scientific results that support the global warming hypothesis of the Democrat Party position. So they don't have any choice.
Right.
If you're going to get the money, you got to support their position. Therefore, 97% of the scientific reports published support global warming. Why? Because those are the ones the government pays for, and that's where the money is. It's real simple. But that doesn't mean it's right. That doesn't make it true. That only makes it bought and paid for. The money goes in circles.
I'm not a scientist, so I'm not going to try to refute you on the facts.
That's the truth.
So I'll simply say that the
Please
vast
stand
majority...
back from this issue and let the two sides be on the air.
Right. Wow, that's great.
Yeah.
Good stuff from John Coleman.
Yeah, we lost him in 2018.
Yeah, I thought he was gone. Yeah, shoot. We lost him. But he was a smart guy. He was an honest guy. And the Weather Channel has gone off the rails since he founded it. Holy cow. Are they all about climate change? And I differ somewhat from John Coleman in that I will grant you the Earth has warmed a bit. So what? It does that. A, we can't control it. B, it's not catastrophic. C, it's not caused by humans. It's caused by something, what is that? 2 million degree burning orb in the sky? Oh, that's right. The sun has a little something to do with our climate cycles.
Yeah, and the fact it's how many miles away?
97 million.
37 or so?
Well, from Texas, it's 37 miles.
That explains what's happening here.
Today, it's going to be about 27 miles above Texas.
Oh,
so yeah.
Brutal.
Yeah, a little hot. Little bit hot. Much more where this came from coming up.
Pat Gray Unleashed.
Great to have you with us. 888-900-3393. Pat Unleashed on Twitter, where GrifterBot tweets, "My deepest condolences. Nobody should suffer the horror of air supply." Yeah, true enough. And yet, it's there, jammed in my head this morning.
Cruel and unusual.
Every woman in the world, not even lost in love. Just a song everybody knows from Air Supply, right? Banana Bonanza tweets, "I listened to a podcast about earworms, and they said that the best way to get rid of them is to actually listen to the song over and over." And I mean, podcasts are fact, right?
Oh, yeah.
Well, this one is. I can't attest to all of them because every living person on Earth now has a podcast. Carl Smith, "Pat, don't worry, be happy. Just keep thinking Baby Shark."
Oh, bro, come on now.
That's just wrong. That's just wrong to do. Fury and Energy, UFOs are back in the news. Government must be up to something extra nefarious
That's
again.
A good point.
Sure is. Kenneth Parker's tweets, "Have the jihadists cut the hands off the climate protesters? Two birds."
Like it.
Let's see. Justquist. Europeans need to work 40-hour work weeks. They have too much free time. Yeah, especially the ones putting their hands in cement, morons. Hopscotch tweets, "I could be mistaken, but I think glue is made from oil." No, I think you're right. I think it's a petroleum product. New Hampshire Pathead. "Pat, would you agree that there is a chasm? There's a chasm between what John Kerry says and the truth." I would agree with that. It's quite clear that there is a chasm. Threads apparently not doing great. Is it already dead? Some of Chris Cruz among them have declared it already dead. Do we have the graph? Show the graph because interesting average time spent per user. And I mean, Threads just started, so people would be, interested right now. They'd be like, "Oh, yeah, I got to do my thread or whatever."
Do my thread.
And look at how it's fallen off.
Is this 6 days, just random days here that Twitter obviously maintaining?
Minutes per day. So it started at 20. I don't know if those are just the first
Yeah, is that
six?
the first 6 days? I don't know.
And then you compare Twitter. Twitter's killing.
Yeah.
Threads, at least.
I mean, look how steady Twitter is.
Yeah, very, very steady.
Threads is like a staircase, if you're listening here, down to, what are we doing, 5 minutes a day now on Threads? Wow.
If that, yeah. So, good. Couldn't happen to a nicer company, could it? I understand that Mark Zuckerberg is really taking this training thing seriously with the upcoming fight between him and Elon Musk.
Oh, boy.
I mean, at least Zuckerberg believes it's on.
Do we have a ring and a date? Like a ring where they can fight and a date when it's going to happen? Do we have that yet?
I don't think we have that. I don't think so.
That's too bad.
It's going to have to be in either Vegas or Dubai because that's where all big events happen now. Dubai, do you have the screensaver from Apple that you don't have you don't have
Android.
Apple TV. They show Dubai all the time, either the downtown area or the harbor area. That looks like such a cool city. I mean, the building they've done in a city that size is outrageous. I mean, what is it? The metropolitan area, maybe 2 million, 2.5 million, something like that. And it is just jam-packed with skyscrapers. And, of course, the largest building in the world.
And no alcohol in Dubai. Is that right?
I think so. Yeah, I think that's right.
I'm sure it's beautiful.
Yeah.
Somebody can tell me about it.
I want to bring up you guys' to attention that Fight Club, this verified account on Instagram said Zuckerberg has agreed to fight Elon at UFC 300.
Seriously?
Oh, yeah, I did it.
Oh, that's a done deal, is it?
Heard that.
I don't know if it's... I texted Hillary, and she ghosted me since Saturday. So I've been trying to figure it out.
She hates you. We've talked about that quite a few times. She hates you. Doesn't she, Keith? Has she talked to you about that, too? She hates Chris Cruz.
Oh.
Hates his guts. I don't know why.
I didn't know we were supposed to talk about that on the air.
I didn't think there was any hate in Hillary, and yet, man, she's...
We have to do this right now?
Are we sure she's okay with us saying this on the air? That's right. Yeah, I think we've mentioned that March or April is when 300 is.
Oh, okay.
And
next spring.
But I mean, Ilhan, I know you're just in naturally good shape, so he probably doesn't even need time to train. Mm-hmm. Is he just going to wait till the last minute to say, "Yeah, I'll be there"?
No, I think he's training too. I'm a little nervous for him, though, because he's quite a bit older than Zuckerberg.
Wait, but didn't his mom say?
What?
Hey,
no, don't do it?
Don't do it, honey.
Yes.
Come on now.
Yeah, Mom did say don't
Oh, my
do it.
gosh. Speaking of moms getting involved with their kids' business, can we please play clip 15 of Jesse Waters last night? First show on Fox News. They've revamped their primetime lineup.
Yeah, and he took Tucker Carlson's space.
Okay.
So they're calling it the fastest growing show on television. Well, yeah, because it can't sink any lower.
Oh.
Right?
Oh.
I mean, since Tucker left, they lost, I don't know, half the audience or more.
Right.
So anyway, here's what happened.
We have a very special guest on the line, a Democrat, my mom. Mom? How have you... Hello there, Mom. How have you enjoyed the show so far?
I have enjoyed the show. I want to say congratulations, Honey Bun. We are so proud of you and your accomplishments, and you've worked so hard. Now let's aim to have you keep your job. And to that end, I do have some suggestions.
Is this a dig at Tucker?
Okay.
Do not tumble into any conspiracy rabbit holes.
It's a dig at
We
Tucker.
do not want to lose you, and we want no lawsuits.
Okay.
Okay. In keeping, I have a list here. In keeping with the Hippocratic Oath, do no harm. We need you to be kind and respectful. You yourself mentioned that humble is a stretch, so I get that. Use your voice responsibly to promote conversation that maintains a narrative thread. There really has been enough Biden bashing, and the laptop is old. Perhaps you could suggest that your people take less interest, for example, in other people's bodies, and talk about that.
Really? Is that what you're going to feature on Fox News now?
I bet you are.
Skip the mom talk, okay? Let's skip the talk with mom in prime time on Fox, where she's going to promote abortion.
Bro, is she going to be a segment? Is this going to be
gosh.
Let's piss off our audience with Jesse's mom calling in all the time?
Wow, why would you do that?
Or Fox may just go down that road. I wouldn't be
maybe.
shocked. Yeah.
Maybe. Why would you do that? I mean, that's just stupid. A, it's lame, okay? Don't talk to your mom on the first night of your show. That's don't. Okay?
Don't.
I just don't. That's just, no, let's not. Somebody suggests it, and you're like, good suggestion, no. No, we're not going to do that. Especially since my mom's a Democrat. She's a liberal. She's pro-abortion. She's everything that our audience isn't.
She's not my type.
And she's not Donald Trump's type, so...
Yeah. Who else had their mom
man.
when they hosted a show for the first time?
Oh, yeah, Alec Baldwin.
Oh, Alec Baldwin, is that right?
That's right.
That's right. Okay. So there's a formula for success. That trail has been blazed by a pioneer in broadcasting, Alec Baldwin.
Here's part of it. I don't think we get to the mom part, but...
When can we take some calls, Ivan?
You might remember.
Whenever we want.
Do we have calls that are on there now?
No calls yet. No calls yet.
What number do people call to get on the air, Ivan? Do we have that number?
It's right there.
No, do I have the call number in front of me? Oh, I'm so sorry.
I'm so sorry.
That's interesting.
That's it. It is
interesting. Do we have any calls yet there, Ivan?
Any calls?
No calls. Let's read some more about Scientology.
All right.
Is Sean Hannity
a
Scientologist? Alec Baldwin posing the big questions tonight here. Do we have any calls here yet, Ivan? None. Boy, it's just incredible.
Sure is. Okay, Ivan, get my mom on the line. All right? She'll talk to us. So good.
So good.
Also, yesterday, Representative Cori Bush discussed medical abortion.
Medical abortion. Oh, this will be a fun new term that we get to hear all the time.
Medical abortion.
This is incoherent.
Really?
I
haven't seen this yet.
I have no idea what is happening here.
Okay. But here she is.
Mifepristone is used worldwide and already accounts for over 50% of abortions in this country.
Oh, good.
Medication abortion is a lifeline. It's a lifeline for the person working multiple jobs who can't afford to take the day off.
It's a death line for the baby. Let's not forget that part, okay? But it's a lifeline if it's an inconvenience to be having this child.
For the baby.
But
You
for the
said-
baby, it's a death line.
You said that like with a lot of confidence, like you know.
Yeah, like I
that
know
there's a
that's going to
baby
kill.
involved.
I do. Yes. Yes.
Wait.
I'm going to say it's not going to be a Volkswagen. It's not going to, or a Buick, or a
Listen to
clump
you.
of broccoli.
Listen to you.
I know.
You a scientist?
Going way out on a limb. I'm not a scientist.
Okay.
I'm not a biologist.
All right.
But there's a couple of things I'm fairly certain about.
Okay.
Let's see the rest.
Multiple jobs who can't afford to take a day off work because wages are too low or they don't have paid sick leave.
Oh, well,
It's a
then.
lifeline
Go
for the
kill a
mom
baby.
of two who can't afford
Yeah.
child care or who can't find that affordable child care. It's a lifeline for the person who lives hundreds of miles away from the nearest clinic and does not have reliable transportation.
Right,
It's a
right,
lifeline
right.
for the trans folks who face
For the-
transphobia
I'm sorry,
and
what?
bigotry because of anti-LGBT plus laws and
Wait,
outrageous
what does this have to
bans
do with
on
abortion?
gender-affirming care.
Gender-affirming care stuff.
These aren't hypothetical.
No, they're not.
These are real stories
Real stories
from
that
real
happen,
people.
Really happen all the time.
Yeah, well, you listening right now can be grateful that we gave you 1 minute of the 4 minutes of incoherency.
Wow.
Cori
Jeez.
Bush.
Just to show you how insensitive our board operator, Lance, is.
Uh-oh.
He actually said in my ear, when Cori Bush was saying there wasn't time for this and wasn't time for that, they did have time to make the baby, right? They had time for the sex.
Yeah.
They fit that somewhere in their busy schedule. They did have the sex. But there can be no consequences from that, Lance.
Yeah, but I mean, depending, that could have been, like 2.5 minutes. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's not like a whole day off of work.
Right. And besides, you don't want them punished.
I've got two daughters,
with a
9
baby,
years old and 6 years old.
Right.
I'm going to teach them, first of all, about values and morals.
There you go.
But if they make a mistake,
right.
I don't want them punished with a baby.
Right, with a baby. I don't want them punished with a baby.
How do these...
Okay.
And all right. The level of incompetence and idiocy in our U.S. Congress, it's constantly on display.
Mm-hmm. Well, just every day.
Ilhan Omar, just today alone, Ilhan Omar with her tweet.
Cori Bush
talking about abortion and gender-affirming care. I mean, we could have gone for the trifecta. I'm sure there's a John Fetterman clip out there that's fresh.
Oh, geez, wouldn't that be great?
It never ends.
Well, if there's not a fresh one.
Okay, what do you got? Tell me, has he said something silly in the past?
He has.
John Fetterman.
I mean, it's rare, but...
No, I would just really like to, the 95, 95.
How do you argue with that?
I don't.
Really, just 95, 95. No, you got a point. I don't know what it is, but you have a point.
I have a point that
John, that's really good.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And I have a point that they're idiots running this government.
Oh, my.
And there are idiots throughout this government.
Oh, my.
We were just talking during the break about, for 10 years now, emails with typos have been sent that was supposed to go to U.S. military email addresses. And because they didn't type it properly, like it was, they typed instead of .ml instead of .mil, something like that. And they would end up in a server that was associated with the nation of Mali. Well, a good guy had owned that domain for the last 10 years. And for almost that entire time, he had been trying to get, I think he's in Finland, and he had been trying to work channels through the Finnish government to get to the U.S. For a decade, this guy was like, hey, I'm getting some really sensitive stuff here about military bases and what's going on in the U.S. military. You need to tell our ally what's happening here. Well, now this guy is losing that domain, and it's gonna end up in the hands of Mali, who is friendly with the Russian government. I mean, we are the most asinine nation. How do we even exist? It's one thing after another with this government. Oh, gosh, I can't.
Yeah. But then we've got people, who have a lot of common sense, like this Presbyterian pastor.
Okay.
who says killing babies in abortions is a blessing, an act of love. A Presbyterian pastor.
Awesome. There she is. Lovely.
Heaven help us. Literally. Killing an unborn child because she's a girl is, quote, a moral good, unquote. Killing an unborn boy because he has Down syndrome is, quote, an act of love, unquote. Killing an unborn baby just because you forgot to use birth control and don't want to be a parent, well, that's an act of grace and a blessing. That's the message from a Presbyterian pastor who has made it her mission to share with Christians across the United States. Of course, the Reverend Rebecca Todd Peters doesn't mention killing or babies in her sermon promoting abortion on demand. According to Religion News Service, Peters gave a sermon July 9th at the Community Church of Chapel Hill in North Carolina, explaining why she believes Christians should support abortions for any reason without any restriction. Ooh. Abortion is a moral good. Abortion is an act of love. Abortion is an act of grace, she told the congregation. Abortion is a blessing. Wow. Jeez. Wow. Storm clouds above her head? You know, is there any brimstone in the forecast for the Chapel Hill area? That is absolutely despicable and evil. It's evil. People doing this in the name of God, that is discussed in the Bible. It's not a good thing. Okay? I'm not judging this person's soul, where this person is going, but I do know it's evil. I do know she's in trouble. And that's between her and her maker. You know, maybe she'll repent of this, but holy cow. That is outrageous. And we're seeing all kinds of this stuff lately. It is an upside down world, and we just need to be aware of that, and we need to do our part to put it back right. We also have this story about communist China reportedly rewriting the Bible, calling Jesus a sinner. No, but there's much more on that. We'll tell you about this coming up in a few minutes. Holy cow. It just doesn't end with this stuff.
I know.
I mean, what is it with the blasphemy lately?
Bro.
Wow, people are really trying hard. Shoo. More Pat Gray Unleashed, just around the corner.
Pat Gray Unleashed.
Pat Gray is here on the Blaze Radio Network.
Welcome to it. Some tweets here to start the hour. Texas Bizzle. Had Waters learned nothing from Alec Baldwin and Fredo Cuomo? No, apparently not. Apparently Jesse was, I don't know, not paying attention to learn those lessons when he had his mom on. Micah 6'8" is enough. Fox News leadership is taking that company down the Bud Light rabbit hole. I honestly believe they're trying to destroy it from within.
Oh, wow.
Imagine being a personality on that network as they go down. Yeah.
I point out that a lot of news was broken with our Blaze Media event over the weekend in Iowa. A lot of Republican presidential hopefuls made news, some positive, some negative.
Yeah.
Fox News covered that event with that's zero coverage whatsoever.
My gosh.
Nothing.
They didn't even mention it?
I didn't see anything.
Yeah, I haven't either, but I don't watch Fox that much. Jeez, wow. That's amazing. Whatever. Okay, whatever. You could have eliminated, we'd be done with Asa Hutchinson for sure, because that guy blew it. Of course, so did Mike Pence. He had one of the strangest replies of the day when Tucker Carlson was asking him about the situation in American cities all across the country and how, you know, they're just being dragged into the dirt. And his response was, that's not my problem. That's not my problem.
That's not my concern.
Not my concern, yeah. Okay. Whatever. Interesting response. Oliver Klusoff tweets, can't afford childcare. Could they afford a condom? Or maybe keep... Oh, boy.
Oh, should I not include that part?
Maybe not include the second part. Dr. Free Range Prisoner, I'm not a cattle rancher, but I know BS when I hear it.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Keith mentioned the U.S. soldier that was detained after crossing the North Korean border without permission. What are you doing? Crossing that border without permissions. Okay, we had to send back them. An American citizen has been detained in North Korea after straying across the border into the communist country without permission during a tour, according to the UN.
During a tour?
Huh. The detainee has not been identified, but South Korea's Dong-Alibo newspaper, citing South Korea's army, reported that the person was a U.S. Army soldier. Boy, you just don't hear about this stuff.
So not
happening.
Necessarily a defector.
Not necessarily. Yeah, I think it's too early to tell. But I guess he was there for, what is it they said he went to?
Did you say a tour?
Dinner and, yeah, some kind of tour.
That must be fun.
Oh, right.
Hey,
the
look
tour
at this.
Of the demilitarized zone in North Korea, that's got to be a good time. Man.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Is there a gift shop at the end of the tour?
Oh, a beautiful one. Beautiful one. I mean, it's not that big. It's 1 by 1. So, yeah.
A lot of trinkets in there?
Not a lot, no. A U.S. national on a JSA orientation tour crossed without authorization the military demarcation line into the Democratic People's Republic of Korea. We believe he's currently in DPRK custody, and we're working with our KPA counterparts to resolve the incident. That's interesting. It doesn't sound like a defection, though, does it? Or maybe we're just not admitting to it. I don't know.
Yeah.
That could be, too. We just don't want to say somebody. But, I mean, out of 330 million people, once in a while, something's going to happen, right? I would think. But you just don't hear that kind of stuff.
So the joint security area there.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Interesting.
I mean,
maybe he was just curious about the hotel in Pyongyang.
Maybe it was something silly like they were playing catch.
Maybe.
And then the ball, he's like, yeah, you threw it. You go get it, Bob. And he's like, all right. And he climbs over there. Next thing you know, he's been detained. Hope he got his ball back, though.
All right. Told you about this communist China rewriting the Bible thing.
Yeah. Somebody sent this to us. It's about a year old, but this is gross.
But it's still outrageous.
Yeah.
They've been on a mission to rewrite the Bible through a communist lens. This quest has reportedly resulted in shocking distortions of Scripture and gospel truth. Todd Nettleton, the spokesman for the Voice of the Martyrs, VOM, a persecution watchdog serving Christians across the globe, told FaithWire about the Chinese government's ongoing efforts to reimagine the Bible. FaithWire, isn't that Dan Andros's?
I think so. I think that's who he's with.
It is. He used to work here, of course, if you're not familiar with Dan. This is a project that the Chinese Communist Party announced in 2019. At the time, they said it would be about a 10-year process to release a new translation of the Bible. This new translation would really support the Communist Party. Well, that's great. Just rewrite it with your own thoughts. That would be great. Watch Nettleton discuss. Okay, so that's just a promo for the video, which I don't believe have. VOM recently shared a reimagined version of the Bible's Reverend story centered on Jesus' love and corrective compassion for a woman caught in adultery. The Chinese Communist Party announced plans to update the Bible to keep pace with the times. Yeah, that's what you want, right? You want the Bible rewritten in today's immorality, and then it makes a lot of sense. The revisions will include adding core socialist values and removing passages that don't reflect communist beliefs. In a textbook for high school students released in September 2020, the authors include a passage from John 8 as revived in their new version. As the famous forgiveness story goes, the Pharisees brought a woman caught in adultery before them and challenged Jesus, proclaiming, "Teacher, this woman was caught in the act of adultery. In the law of Moses, they commanded us to stone such a woman. Now, what would you say?" The Bible notes that Jesus said, he who is without sin cast the first stone. After the people, clearly shaken by Jesus' words, walk away, Christ and the woman were then left standing there together, and the exchange went as follows. Jesus said, "Woman, where are they? Has no one condemned you?" And she said, "No one, sir." "Then neither do I condemn you. Go now and leave your life of sin." That's not exactly what he said, but that's close. The Chinese Communist Party, though, reportedly has a little bit different version as to how that interaction went. In the Chinese government's new version, purportedly observed in a textbook published in September 2020, the crowd disperses, but then the text states, when everyone went out, Jesus stoned the woman himself.
Oh, no. What?
And then said, "I am also a sinner."
What in the world? That took a dark turn.
Sure did.
Didn't see that coming.
And a nonsensical turn.
Oh,
Why?
wow. What?
Wait, what? Okay, that's
so the communist is
just
a 10-year project to rewrite this Bible.
Mm-hmm. And that's what they've come up with so far.
The image of the CCP. Okay.
Yeah, you loving that? That's great stuff.
I'm loving that. That's
that's blasphemous. That's really horrible. Let me take a minute real quick and talk about your liver. Because the latest data from the American Heart Association indicates that adults with fatty liver were 3.5 times more likely to have heart failure than those without. The American Liver Foundation says that 100 million Americans have fatty liver, which means a lot of us are at risk here. You know, we throw a lot of stuff that isn't good for our livers right at our liver without even knowing it. You know, cholesterol, alcohol, toxins, Tylenol, statins, cigarettes, none of those things are good for your liver. That's why so many of us have sluggish fatty liver and makes us gain weight, lose energy, just feel sluggish. For decades now, your liver has helped you with over 500 key functions every day. So maybe it's time now that you give your liver some help with Liver Health Formula. The all-natural supplement contains 12 clinically proven botanicals that help recharge and protect your liver. It's manufactured right here in America. It's approved by American doctors. You can try Liver Health Formula and get a free bottle of nano-powered omega-3 to keep your heart healthy, too. Try Liver Health Formula by going to getliverhelp.com/Pat. Claim your free bonus gift. That's getliverhelp.com/Pat.
This is Pat Gray Unleashed.
Yesterday, we talked about how well the movie Sound of Freedom is doing. I mean, it's unbelievable. I wouldn't have even guessed how well this movie is doing because it defies all expectations. I guess it shouldn't because, you know, people are starving for this kind of thing that's powerful, that's real, that makes a difference.
I'm so happy for everybody involved with it, too. Much in the way I'm happy with Steve Dace and all of the folks involved with Nefarious. It's good to see good people making good movies that are getting the attention that they deserve.
And by the way, I just saw Nefarious, recently. And Glenn's really good in it. He's really good. He's very natural, which is not easy to do. And it just looks like he's doing an actual interview.
Glenn Beck as himself.
Yep. He played himself really well. He knows how to do that. That's good. That was really good.
Yeah.
Anyway, I was impressed. But how many people around the country are experiencing theaters without air conditioning at multiple locations? It's a strange phenomenon that only seems to hit where the theater is showing Sound of Freedom. Interesting, isn't it? By the way, the numbers, if you missed it yesterday, Mission Impossible was number one, of course, for the weekend. 54 million for the weekend, 78,491,000 since it came out last Tuesday. Sound of Freedom was number two at 27 million for the weekend. It went up 38.6%. Jeez. It's over 85 million, $85.7 million since it came out to take number two for the weekend. Then Insidious, The Dial of Destiny, Indiana Jones movie, and Elemental round out the top five. But Pathead, Putin on a Ritz, checked in from a theater in Helena, Montana. There are so many. I wonder which one this was. The Cinemark theaters in Helena is where he went to see this, I guess. And there was a warning that was posted. Interesting. There it is. Warning, the following showtimes for Sound of Freedom, 7:50 and 11:15, will be extremely hot. Our air conditioning is broken. We're working towards fixing this issue.
Man.
Thank you, management.
Strange phenomenon happening in theaters showing Sound of Freedom around the nation.
Isn't that strange? And it was only the theater with Sound of Freedom in it.
That's crazy. What are the odds of this keeps happening?
Strange. So apparently the air conditioning was actually working because it was blowing air into the other theaters, but maybe that particular vent had a problem. I don't know. That's really strange. In Helena. Jeez. I mean, that's if you can even get to the theater alive.
Oh, no. What do you mean?
On the mean streets because of the gunfire. You know, you got to wear your flak jacket. You have to dodge. You have to juke. It's like, treacherous.
Were you ever hit like in a drive-by or
multiple times? But
really?
Fortunately, I wore my flak jacket, and so it just wound up being bruises, all over my body. But yeah,
all right.
That's unbelievable, and this is happening all over the country. This strange phenomenon where the air conditioning breaks at just the theater showing Sound of Freedom. Huh. Strange. Isn't that weird? Who was it that was? Oh, it was Marky Mark.
Mark Wahlberg?
Mark Wahlberg. Did you see what he was just saying about Hollywood?
Yeah, like time's up.
Oh, right? My gosh.
About to expose y'all.
He's talking about pedophiles in Hollywood and how it's a real thing. Yeah, he spoke at a church over the weekend. Do we have that story here somewhere?
I don't know that we do. I did see what you're referring to.
I don't know if I don't think I sent it to myself. But so he's at this church talking about Hollywood and these pedophiles being exposed in Hollywood. And he actually said that he was at a party, I think a Christmas party.
Oh, yeah.
In 2019 or 2020.
Yeah.
And
here it is. Yeah, we do.
They were doing the adrenochrome thing.
Yes, that's in there.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, I think that's on the second page of that story.
Now, I wasn't really totally buying into that because you just don't know. Okay, that really elites, are drinking the blood of children or injecting themselves with the blood of children. But he says, yes, it's a legitimate problem. They're evil, elite pedophiles, and now they have nowhere to hide.
I love it.
He said, we are hunting these evil sons of bitches down and taking them out, one blood-drinking pedophile at a time. My gosh. Then he warned the congregation to expect some disturbing news on the front page of newspapers in the near future. So he's been, I guess, making this speech at various churches around Los Angeles lately. Wow. And according to him, 4 Hollywood executives, this is amazing. So he was describing an industry Christmas party with Hollywood executives from some of the most powerful studios in the world. He said the studio bosses, executive producers, international brokers, and financial stakeholders, as well as 2 A-list stars, engaged in satanic rituals which culminated in torture and sexual abuse of children.
Oh, God.
According to Wahlberg, 4 Hollywood executives dressed in satanic outfits and masks, who were all drinking blood, high on adrenochrome, encouraged him to, quote, stop being a prude and join the club, unquote, by sexually abusing 2 very, very young children. He said, look, I'm a father, and all I could think about was that these 2 children should have been safe at home with their parents, but they were in a Hollywood club being preyed on by sadists, pedos, and sexual perverts who engage in the worst kind of evil. He made it clear that the consequences in Hollywood could not be higher for those who threatened to expose the depraved activities of the elites. Why didn't I kill these guys?
You're right.
I had to think about my children. They're my first priority in this world. And I don't want them to grow up without a father.
That's a good explanation. Yeah.
Wahlberg said he had heard rumors about this type of party in Hollywood, and he knew the consumption of adrenochrome was a popular pastime among studio executives, but he had never been openly confronted with it before. Jeez, this is just... He also, in this article somewhere, praises both Jim Caviezel and Mel Gibson for their bravery, for the giblets that they have to be able to stand up and talk about this. And you know, now he is too. Mark Wahlberg is not insane, right? Doesn't that kind of lend some credence to this story? Does to me. Mm-hmm. Pretty frightening. I don't know. I've never been to a party where adrenochrome was consumed.
Well,
so.
You just haven't been invited to the right ones.
I guess
obviously.
not. Mm-hmm.
No, that's it's terrifying.
It is.
And
sick.
It goes to show nothing is ever as it seems in this world. You just have no idea what's happening.
It's hard to believe we could get any more evil than we are. I mean, how bad were things in Sodom, if you believe the Bible, and I do. How bad were things in Sodom and Gomorrah to warrant the total destruction of that city, where obviously it was so bad that children didn't have a chance to grow up and be reasonable people. So the whole thing was wiped out because it was better for them that way. Are we not pretty close to being there?
It feels like it, right? Especially when you got Gays Against Groomers just released some audio from inside a Planned Parenthood where a 14-year-old girl was talking with a medical professional about how to go about getting a sex change operation without her parents finding out about it. And, I mean, it's just the evil is everywhere, and the kids have no chance in this world.
None. Yeah.
It's
none.
so bad.
All right. Let me tell you about getting prepared for things, because here we are talking about, these unbelievable situations. And could things get worse? Oh, you bet. And they probably will before they get better. So, why are so many people buying emergency food right now? Because as tensions continue to escalate, our fragile food supply chain will break again. One shocking headline spreads panic like wildfire, and grocery stores are empty within hours. That means you really need a proper supply of emergency food on hand before disaster strikes. You'll breathe easier knowing that you can feed your family in a really severe crisis or a shortage. Go to preparewithpat.com for a 1-week emergency food supply. It's a great place to start. Just start with a week and then work your way up from there. I happen to have, I think I've got a 4-year supply. So a year supply for 4 people. But start wherever you can and then build from there. My Patriot Supply, it's the nation's largest preparedness company with millions of happy, worry-free customers. Comes in a cool ammo can that's loaded with delicious food. There's no skimping with these meals. They offer 2,000 calories a day. Don't skip the special $30 savings available this week only. $30 savings on the 1-week emergency food supply. So go to preparewithpat.com. That's preparewithpat.com.
You're listening to Pat Gray Unleashed.
If you're looking to sweeten your summer in the nasty, hideous summer heat, it's a great way to do that by going to Kexi.com. We have the new bride's cake cookie. It's an almond cookie with amaretto cream cheese frosting. Mm-hmm. And the Barbie cookie just came out this week, too. That's a sugar cookie with a bright pink cotton candy frosting. Delicious. And, of course, that raspberry lemonade cookie from, I don't know, whenever we debuted that. I think it's quickly become one of our most popular of all time. Go to Kexi.com, Keksi.com, to try these out. Delicious. Use the promo code Jeffy, the Jeffy, and you save 18%. The Jeffy for 18% off. Now, I think you got to come close to the spelling, which Jeffy, the Jeffy. Okay? It's not Jeffie or EY, although I don't know. Maybe those work too. But just try the Jeffy and get 18% off. It always feels good when Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau gets booed, and that seemingly happens every time he goes somewhere in public lately.
I know.
The other day, he was at the North American Indigenous Peoples Games.
Oh, yeah, I got
which
that.
I never miss.
Yeah, I actually,
man.
I ponied up for pay-per-view.
Did you really?
And that
Well,
way
of
I
course
could
you
get
did.
all the different channels.
Right?
Because you got to get...
And it's on like 5 or 6, right? I think the North American Indigenous Peoples Games, so popular that it can't be contained on just one channel.
You got it.
Yeah. So here's what happened when he came out to the crowd. Oh, man. Boo.
They hate him. And I love
with
it.
good reason.
I love it. Something innocuous like the
North American Indigenous Peoples Games.
How did I forget that? I've been watching it around the clock.
So big.
Yeah.
So much more interesting
Some
than
of
the
sports
Olympics.
at
the North American Indigenous Peoples Games? Well, I mean, I'm not going to insult our audience.
No, let's hear. Do you know some of the...
I'm not going to insult people by, naming them, which I know they're already so familiar with. Everything like such as...
Oh, let's go to the sport.
I don't know, is lacrosse? I would guess lacrosse would be one of the games. Do we have that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait, what's box lacrosse?
Box lacrosse?
I don't know.
I don't know.
But it kind of looks like Olympic. I'm sorry. As I've been watching the show, it's basically the Olympics, except for it's a native, North American Indigenous
Peoples Games, right, in Canada.
Ugh. This is Pat Gray Unleashed.
You can follow our social media exploits almost everywhere. YouTube.com/Pat Gray. Get the show there. Get the show at blazetv.com. Pat Gray Unleashed on podcast. Pretty much anywhere you get your podcast. And then rate and review so that other people will see it as well and be so pleased that they don't have to go through the apocalypse sad. We'll make it fun for them as well as you. Also, it's Pat Unleashed on Twitter, of course, Instagram, and Threads. And on Twitter, we do have some tweets here from Kara3022. Something tells me that progressives will have no problem whatsoever with the Chinese blasphemous Bible being taught in American schools. Now, I'm sure that'll be the case. And if you try to stop it from being taught in schools or shown in schools, it'll be book burning. You're banning books now. Okay. Frank Johnson tweets, how about we keep the Times up with the Bible instead of keeping the Bible up with the Times?
Ooh.
That's a thought.
I love the play on words.
Jimmy Dimples, the AC failing in Sound of Freedom theaters seems pretty bad in AMC theaters in particular, which has pretty tight ties with Disney, which shelved the film back in 2019. Coincidence? No, I think not. Sloth and Gluttony Awareness tweets, they always tell you what they're doing. As much as Monsters, Inc. was my daughter's favorite movie, it was right there in our face. Hollywood is satanic. The end.
Yeah.
All right, so there's your tweets. Just getting this update, I guess this guy who crossed the border, the demilitarized zone into North Korea, he's being held by North Korean officials right now. We don't know what exactly is going on there, but will they send back him? I don't know.
No, they need to fulfill a form.
We know
they
in
need
Mexico,
to establish their right name.
Right.
We analyze if they have not criminal precedents.
Do Mexican police go around asking for papers of people they suspect are illegal immigrants?
Of course.
If somebody sneaks in from Nicaragua or some other country in Central America through the southern border of Mexico, they wind up in Mexico, they can go get a job, they can work.
No.
If somebody do that
without
permissions, we send back them.
Send back them. That's what we do, because that's who we are. Now, you guys, you can't get away with that in the United States. You got to let everybody in who wants to come in.
There's something there, man, because, earliest reports this morning out of North Korea where the U.S. soldier defected.
Mm-hmm. Oh.
Yeah. I mean,
they are saying he defected.
That's what they said an hour ago.
Okay.
Shoot, here's one from 36 minutes ago. Still said, and now it just says crosses. So I don't know. But he was definitely a part of that tour.
Interesting.
So
was it a 3-hour tour or is it? No.
It may soon be a lifetime tour. Unfortunately.
Wow. Jeez. Why would you defect to North Korea of all the places?
Why would you even get that close to the?
I don't know.
They're just watching you like a hawk, waiting for you to cross that line, even if it's just for a picture.
Yeah. Let's see how well he's treated there. Well, I mean, maybe he'll get a chance to really experience a tremendous country where they are just full of opportunity for all, and they're just so open and honest and free in North Korea. So good luck with that soldier who perhaps defected.
Well, we'll see.
Also, do we have the clip of the car that was spewing something?
So I'm not a car guy.
I'm not either.
But this seems, to quote
I have
Stu,
one, but I don't know how to fix it.
I think Stu would call this suboptimal. What is happening? What I mean, do you not
oh my gosh.
own an air filter ever? Like, has that never factored? Oh, somebody had too much coffee. That is a rough go right there. How does that even happen?
I've never seen that before.
Ugh.
Never seen it.
Oh,
look at this sludge is coming out of it.
You gotta
and then they gun it.
Bro.
Can it run like that?
No, not a chance. Come on.
Oh, that's really nasty.
It's so bad. All right, we got it.
Jeez.
It's so gross.
All right, we were just talking about the fabulous games, the North American Indigenous Peoples Games in Canada, which is really fun. But there's also some, the World Para Athletics competition is going on. So this is for handy-capable
There you
people,
go.
I guess, right? Just trying to think of the right word. Is it still handy-capable?
Can you say disabled? Is that not right?
I don't think so. I don't think you can say that. Abled. Differently abled people. But anyway, a transgender athlete has won 9 medals.
Oh, right. Good job.
In events designated for women. But this doesn't happen. When you listen to people like, what's her face? Rapinoe, Megan Rapinoe. It doesn't happen.
Hold on a second. Are we supposed to believe that's a man?
No, that's a woman right there. That's a... I mean, if you want to be discriminatory, it's a biological man, yes. But that person identifies as a woman, and a very lovely, beautiful woman as well.
That's the word. I couldn't think.
So many men make absolutely gorgeous women, don't they? And
without even trying.
We see it almost every day. Valentina Petrillo.
Valentina. Nice.
49-year-old biological male from Italy won the bronze medal in the women's para-athletics world championship 400 meters race in Paris on Thursday. Petrillo finished the race in 58:24 behind Alejandra Perez Lopez of Venezuela.
Wait, an actual woman beat him?
Yeah.
All right.
And Omar Durand of Cuba both finished in front of him. But, I mean...
So that's why the story says won different medals instead of like first place. I was good that the women kicked his ass.
Yes, it is.
All right.
Now, the guy's 49 years old, so it's kind of amazing he won any medal, but, that's what happens. The race was specifically for female runners with vision impairment. Petrillo competed in... What if you just identify with blindness? What if you identify as blind?
This is insanity.
Isn't that the same thing?
We are in hell.
It's the same thing. Why can't you? I'm going to join the Paralympics and I'm going to win some awards. I'm going to win some medals because I identify.
And if you have a problem with that.
Yeah. Well, then you're a hater. You're a bigot. How dare you?
Bizarre world.
So Petrillo competed in the women's T12 classification, which is defined as vision constricted to a radius of less than 5 degrees and or the ability to recognize a moving object at a distance of 1 meter. That could be 1,000 miles.
Maybe that's
Could be
why.
a foot. Nobody knows.
That's there's so many. There's leeway here,
Right? There
Because
is some
nobody
leeway.
knows.
You don't know. You just don't know.
definitions.
These are events, though, designed for Paralympic athletes. The World Para-Athletics Organization notes athletes compete according to their sport-specific classification in each event. Some compete in wheelchairs, some with prostheses, while vision-impaired athletes are supported by a sighted guide. Petrillo became the first transgender athlete in the International Paralympic Women's Championship in 2021. Since identifying as a woman, Petrillo snatched the Italian record.
It's just gross. Come on.
For the 200-meter T12 and the indoor 400-meter, the T13. Okay, great. And then this year, Petrillo won a national masters title and garnered the spot in the World Masters Indoor Athletics Championships.
You're going to sell beer to us next? Go away. These people, I can't.
You got to put him on, her, on a Wheaties box or something, don't you?
Oh, bro.
Right? You got to be on Wheaties. Petrillo claimed to withdraw from the women's athletic event due to hatred.
Oh, no.
And safety concerns. Oh, yeah.
Safety? Shut up.
You hate to see that. There should be no hatred for people. But can we not talk about it and decide whether this is the right thing or not for society and for women? And are we not going to... We can't defend women at all anymore? It's really amazing. Really incredible. All right, let me take a minute and tell you about Patriot Mobile, because every day the parallel economy is growing bigger. It's powered by everyday Americans who are just sick and tired of all the woke propaganda being jammed down their throats with the products they consume. Big mobile companies are no different. In fact, they're some of the worst offenders, frankly. For years, they've been dumping millions into leftist causes. And we just had to take it because you need a cell phone. Well, right now there's Patriot Mobile. It's America's only Christian conservative wireless provider. They offer dependable nationwide coverage on all three major networks. The leftists hate them, so you know they're doing a great job. When you switch to Patriot Mobile, you're sending a message that you support free speech, religious freedom, the sanctity of life, and the Second Amendment. And they have 100% U.S.-based customer service. So they really make switching easy. Just go to patriotmobile.com/Pat or call 878-PATRIOT. You'll get free activation today when you use the offer code PAT. It's time to stop thinking about it and do it. Make the switch. patriotmobile.com/Pat or 878-PATRIOT.
Pat Gray Unleashed.
Oh, no, the Mark Wahlberg story is fake?
It's been everywhere.
I thought we were onto something. Where did I get that? I got that on a legitimate site.
Yeah, that has been everywhere.
I hate being taken in by that. And they used the right guy, too. Because you could, okay, yeah, I can see Mark Wahlberg doing this, taking his stand. Wow. Oh, that was a nicely done hoax. Dang it.
I'm just checking here. Yeah.
Laura Logan apparently shared the story, too, with her 600,000 Twitter followers. She took to Twitter to share the article that alleged Mark Wahlberg was waging a war against pedophiles in Hollywood. The article, which was published by SGT Report, falsely claims Wahlberg told a church Sunday school in L.A. that a group of Hollywood elite were banding together to go up against the evil in the industry. Hollywood pedophiles have nowhere left to hide. That didn't happen. He didn't say that.
That stinks.
Okay. Dang it. So the credit to Jim Caviezel and Mel Gibson didn't happen? None of that? Okay. Doggone it.
Well, that stinks.
Yeah.
Well.
All right. So that's why you didn't kill the people at the party, because he didn't go to the party and there weren't people to kill. So. All right.
Well.
Yeah. Thanks for finding that, Chris.
Lead with our mistakes.
Yeah. Better doing it today than have to do a mea culpa tomorrow. Thank you, Jeffy, for finding that.
Yeah. Thanks, Jeffy. I just handed you a story there, very disturbing story about young people.
Well, yeah, this is a great story. I love it because millennials believe that misgendering someone,
which I just did, by the way, throughout that
you did.
story, and I apologize now after hearing this.
Criminal offense. They want you punished by the law. Can you believe? Ugh. We'll probably find out this is from Newsweek.com. Is this going to be a fake story too?
I don't know. It's Newsweek.
I wish it was. This one is bad and negative connotations, so obviously it's true. It's right, and it's safe to talk about. More millennials think referring to a transgender person by the wrong pronoun should be a criminal offense than think it should be illegal or legal. My gosh, come on now. 44% of those 25 to 34 think referring to someone by the wrong gender pronoun, he, him, she, her, should be a criminal offense versus 31% who disagree. 44-31. Jeez. The rest neither agree or disagree. I don't know. Really, you don't know? Come on now. This view remains popular for those aged 35 to 44, among whom 38% think misgendering should be illegal, while 35% disagree.
Illegal?
Yeah.
Illegal.
A criminal offense. Oh, man. I mean, we just said the runner in the para-athletics games was a biological male. I guess that's wrong to say.
So let's play this out to its logical conclusion.
Mm-hmm.
If that actually does become illegal to misgender someone, you could see we could be escorted out of here in handcuffs.
Yes. Oh,
like,
absolutely.
They could come here and be like, yeah, we literally just heard proof live on the air of you misgendering someone. You're coming with us. Handcuffs, we're out of here. You'll never see us again.
Right. And the 25 to 34-year-olds, the majority of them, or the plurality of them, believes that's fine.
So that's the lawmakers of the future, not so distant future.
Yeah, right.
Cool. I mean, the future's bright, yo.
So bright.
Oh, gosh. Yeah?
I won't even say it.
You want to get another song in your head?
No, I'm not going to. No.
Okay.
I'm not going to do it. It's just so bright, you know?
You can't help yourself, can you? There's everything in Pat right now is fighting against himself.
But I don't have the discipline that I have to wear shades. So there it is.
Had to get it out.
There you have it.
That is awesome.
Joe Biden has been claiming victory on the economy lately, but he's being fact-checked more and more. I love it. He's touting what his administration calls Bidenomics. He claimed that real wages are higher today than they were before government shut down businesses in 2020. Right now, he said, right now, real wages for the average American worker is higher. Should be are higher. Wages are, not wages is. Stupid. Wages is higher than it was before the pandemic, with lower wage workers seeing the largest gains. That's Bidenomics. That's a great narrative, but unfortunately for him, it just isn't true. According to data from the Bureau of Labor Statistics, the per-hour real wage adjusted for inflation was $11.15 in March 2020, jumped to $11.72 in April 2020. The real wage per hour in June 2023 is $11.05. I'm not good at math, but that seems like 67 cents an hour lower. Real wages, in fact, remain mostly steady from June 2020 through September 21. Despite widespread lockdowns and economic havoc, they began trending downward in October 2021 before bottoming out at $10.92 per hour in June of last year. Jeez. Biden also claims he created 13 million jobs. Majority of those, of course, are not newly created jobs, but jobs the economy added back after the government lockdowns during the pandemic. He also takes credit for record deficit reduction, which did not happen. You know what should happen? This guy needs a collar around his neck. And every time he lies, it sends an electric shock to him. Like that.
Or gets too close to a little kid.
Not to kill him or permanently harm him, but just to make him jump. So every time, every single time a lie comes out of his face, it's like a little dog collar when they bark, and it gives them that little zap, and it teaches them not to bark. Let's teach him not to lie. Somebody put a collar around him. One of those little zap things. I'd be going off all day, though.
Speaking of the pedo-in-chief,
he'd be decapitated by the end of the day. So
on accident.
On accident. On accident.
Let's be clear.
Of course.
So I didn't see him anywhere this week. Was he? I think he was on vacation again this past week.
Probably.
I didn't see him out and about anywhere yesterday. Okay? So keep in mind, he spent 40% of his presidency. You're talking about him there, and I was looking up. Let's see what his schedule's like this week.
Brutal. I'll bet it's brutal.
So today he's going to meet with Isaac Herzog of Israel.
What time, though? What time? Is that like sharp? Like it's probably already happened, like 6 a.m.-ish in there somewhere?
1:15.
1:15.
And then at 5 o'clock, he's going to meet with...
Is that the first thing on his schedule?
First thing on his... Well, if you don't count the... President receives the presidential daily briefing at 10 a.m. every day. I'm sure he's at all those.
Yeah.
He's going to hold a meeting with Cardinal Matteo Zuppi.
I love him.
Coming up at 5 p.m. Okay, so then if you just take out the daily briefing, so
he's got a whopping 2 events today.
So that's
slow down, my friend.
Today's the 18th.
He works too hard.
Too hard, yeah.
Too hard. He's got 2 events. Try to count that high. Try. 1, 2. Look how long that took. It takes a long time.
See, I left that math to you because you know that I was not the best for that exercise.
Oh, my gosh.
No, I'm just looking here. Okay, so if we back up here, it's literally just been a photo. How to say? Okay, so let's say he gets back from Europe, and then he literally had nothing on Friday except for going to Camp David. Saturday.
So he took the weekend off, essentially.
He took the weekend off. He took yesterday off.
They'll tell you.
Yeah,
the Camp David trips are working weekends. Those are working vacations. Bull crap. Shut up.
So today's 2 meetings that he's having is the only things that he has done since Europe. I mean... Bro.
What do you think he should be doing? He's just the president of the United States.
I mean, I guess...
What, do you want him working all the time?
I guess
Come on, man.
Well, whoever the president of the United States is, that's whoever's running the teleprompter. I guess you don't really have to do much if you're this president. You just sit back and read whatever your handlers put on the teleprompter.
Yep.
But my gosh, did you see
whatever Susan Rice has told you to do for that day?
Right.
That's what you do.
That's if we're lucky. It's probably more sinister than that. Did you see his end around on the Supreme Court? What he's the way he's going to make sure that student loans...
good for him.
He's
good for him.
Figured out a way to try to get around the Supreme Court.
Okay, they just announced they're going to relieve $39 billion in student loan debt.
I swear they never stop.
They can't.
They never stop, bro.
The plan was first announced last week, but with more details being announced by the Department of Education on Friday.
Hey.
Here's everything to know about Biden's new student loan forgiveness plan.
Okay, here we go.
The plan fixes past administrative failures regarding calculations for those with income-driven repayment plans for their student loan debts.
Okay.
Under the Higher Education Act, borrowers with these eligible plans can have their loans forgiven after making 240 or 300 monthly payments.
All right, so what is that, like 25 years?
Jeez.
If you here's a good rule of thumb for life, right? If any debt takes you 25 years to pay off, it probably wasn't a good
other than
debt
your
to have.
house.
Other than maybe your 30-year fix.
Yeah.
But holy crap, man. What?
The Department of Education will now be counting months where the borrowers made the payment in part or late, had certain periods of consecutive months in forbearance, had months in deferment prior to 2013, or economic hardship or military deferments on or after January 1st, 2013.
Okay.
The changes will move a significant number of borrowers into the threshold to have their loans forgiven. They're still trying to make it happen.
What's cute is I think we're going to have a government that far out to even acknowledge this thing exists.
Oh, man. That's just unbelievable. It's really incredible. And we were talking about the trans thing. Did you see the trans activist? We haven't played this yet. The trans activist was yelling for violence against TERFs.
Okay.
You know, the trans activist was arrested after yelling to a pride rally crowd in London, "If you see a TERF, punch him in the effing face."
Oh.
They didn't obviously use the word effing. They actually enunciated it. The police arrested Sarah Jane Baker, 53, on suspicion of incitement to violence for her remarks at the Trans Plus Pride Parade rally. Oh, good. That's great. Baker is the world's longest-serving transgender prisoner, cable network said, adding that Baker advocates for transgender women to be housed in women's prisons. Yeah, because that works out really well. We've had no problem with that so far, other than, a whole bunch of rapes and women getting pregnant.
Other than that,
it's just perfectly fine. It's going really well.
Okay.
So they can scream and yell for violence, but man, if you do it, you're one of those MAGA extreme radicals that we've got to look out for. All right, we've got overtime coming up. We'll see you again tomorrow. Thank you.
This is Pat Gray.
Half a second of it.